It's been a quiet year thus far for Nintendo. Sure, they put out a ported Mario game, and we had a lot of fun with those challenges, but since then, not a whole lot of noise coming from the big N. Heck, we still don't know when that rumored direct is going to hit, and while we're enjoying the heck out of Wargroove, it's pretty silent until Yoshi's Crafted World. But all signs are pointing to Nintendo absolutely destroying the rest of 2019, and I am getting so excited. What's going on, everybody? It's Zach from SwitchForce. Gabe is here. He's back.
Zach, I was so desperate for a January Direct, and January came and went with absolutely nothing. So I decided to be proactive, and I went on a search. If you hear an echo, guys, it is because I'm in a black hole looking for when the next Direct is going to be. So that is what is happening. That is where I am. That's where I have been the last few days. I just now figured out how to record in the black hole when I got black hole internet, and that's how we're communicating here. But yeah.
Well, you still haven't figured out when the Direct is, so keep looking for that. But what you have found is this post from Emily Rogers, famed Nintendo knowledge source over on ResetEra, where she's talking about unannounced Nintendo published games for 2019. Now, we just heard Nintendo themselves say that there is a very exciting title that will please fans immensely coming in 2019, as well as games that will help take advantage of the online services. But Emily comes in and says there are at least 5 and maybe up to 11 or 12 Nintendo published games that have not yet been announced.
All right, Zach, let's set people's expectations just because that's a grand statement. There might be up to 11, between 5 and 11, Nintendo published games. Guys, this doesn't mean that it's going to be humongous games. Nintendo published Flip Wars last year, for crying out loud. So it could be smaller things in that type of arena. Zach, is there another game akin to Flip Wars that Nintendo published?
Yeah,
you want to tell us?
Fitness Boxing, Go Vacation. They have done things that are much smaller in terms of, their footprint, and I'm sure that some of these will be akin to that. But what this is setting up is a world where Nintendo has already announced so much for 2019, and yet there is apparently plenty more. And I wonder if maybe some of what they've announced were just the appetizers, and we still have some main course mega announcements, a la Smash Bros. Ultimate being unveiled and released in 2018, coming for this year. Definitely let us know in the comments down below what games you think could be part of this mystery 5 to 11. We'd love to hear it from you. She gets a little bit granular here and says there are, in her mind, 8 games that have 70% chance or higher of releasing in 2019. 4 of them are just total mystery games. 2 of them are eShop games. 1 of them is a mystery Wii U port released initially in 2013. 1 is a new Labo Kit. She sounded pretty confident about that Labo Kit. That makes sense. Nintendo loves their Labo. They are cardboard crazy. Still, it sounds like it is a product that they really believe in. They're putting it in a bunch of schools and cool places like that. I don't know if they go more hardcore with Labo. They go just a totally different direction. The Wii U port, Gabe, that's got to be either Wonderful 101 finally, Super Mario 3D World to capitalize on the plumber and maybe even just get more Mario out there if the Switch Mini is a real deal and they want to push a bunch of familiar products. Or perhaps Pikmin 3 tying into an eventual Pikmin 4?
Sure, Wind Waker HD is another thing that is being hypothesized. I think it's pretty crazy to expect another Mario game. We just got one, and yeah, it's New Super Mario Brothers U Deluxe, but it's still a Mario game that's selling very well. I don't know if they want to keep pushing that. Maybe. I'm going to place my bets on Wonderful 101. I feel like if we're going to get another Wii U port this year, it should be that, especially now that we have this, qualification that it's a 2013 game. But yeah, that has to be it, I think.
The eShop games, it would be very cool if one of them was as great as, say, Snipper Clips. Cut it out together. But if they're just Flip Wars, then okay, that's fine. I don't have to touch those. Emily also goes on to list 3 games that she says have a 50% chance or less of releasing in 2019. 1 would be Retro Studios' Secret Game, although she puts in parentheses, assuming it wasn't canned. 2 would be the Metroid Prime Trilogy if they do in fact decide to drop it this year as a stopgap between now and Metroid Prime 4. And 3 would be another mystery Wii U port. Now, I don't want to spend too much time, Gabe, going over what these games could be. They could be anything. And as we said, it could be something like fitness boxing, something like Flip Wars. So that's tough to really decipher. But what isn't tough is to see and establish that this means multiple Nintendo published games per month going forward. If we're to assume that Nintendo doesn't have anything for February, and March is at the end of the month with Crafted World, then we've got April to December to just drop the gigahammer of releases. Animal Crossing, Pokemon 2019, Luigi's Mansion 3, Fire Emblem, and all the other already announced stuff, plus 5 to 11 more games.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't mention it, but Town, something I'm very excited for. Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. People absolutely lost it for that. We have Daemon X Machina. There's so much still happening. I know Animal Crossing is sort of what everybody wants the soonest. And, I fully expect that game to come out this year. But, without anything that is going to surprise us, we already know of at least 8 big games. You just went through and mentioned most of them here, Zach, that are happening this year. After February, there isn't a lot of months left. I mean, 2 of the months down, we know what 8 of the games are. 2 more surprise games that are assuredly going to be announced before E3 or maybe right around E3 to release that same calendar year. It's going to be a packed month. And again, we're not going to make very much mention of it here, but the fact that a new hardware revision of some kind could be happening, Nintendo seems like they are desperate to crush it.
Yeah, and whether it is in response to the disappointment they and their shareholders felt about not reaching their targeted goals, whether it is to help groundswell the launch of a potential Switch Mini. I mean, you're looking at a scenario where they would be the only major company to launch hardware in 2019. They would have more exclusives and more big tentpole titles than either Sony or Microsoft. It could get crazy. And I feel like every year we say, like, oh, is this the best year for Switch? Because they are bringing so many top-tier titles, and when they come out, they're at such a great level and such high-caliber experiences. But I wonder if it is more unique, interesting titles lurking in the wings. We saw, talks of like, hey, it's kind of like they're bringing some of their major 3DS franchises to the Switch in terms of like, hey, last Luigi's Mansion on 3DS, this one on Switch. Fire Emblem, a very popular handheld franchise, this one now on Switch. And maybe that ties into the Switch Mini and how they have kind of laid, a plan for that. I wonder if the rest of these games are more like that, people throwing out ideas of Star Fox F-Zero, or if they do have some big, heavy hitters in there, like a 2D Zelda, like another Mario experience, even if it's Mario Sports. This could be really crazy. And the next Direct, I feel, I don't see a way where it's not jam-packed.
Yeah, absolutely. And, low-key, Zach, a lot of people don't like to acknowledge this. January has been pretty good for Switch. We got Wargroove. We have New Super Mario Bros. U, which a lot of people got and enjoyed. The game reviewed well. The game sold well. So, by all accounts, it's a success whether you like it or not, like for people that already played it. So, off to a strong start. Yeah, February is a little lackluster, but a lot of indie games coming that I'm still really looking forward to. And indie is a big pillar for Nintendo Switch. They've made that known. We just got a Nindies highlight. So, going forward, as soon as this Direct happens, if they blow us away the way we expected, God, this could be a year for the history books for Nintendo.
Indeed. And February, Wargroove came out right February 1st, so it feels like it's still a January game. It does leave a substantial gap of like the major next thing we're looking forward to being March 29th with Yoshi. But after that, maybe it all just is a roller coaster of pure excitement going forward. I think that's very, very promising. And we said before, like, even with the list of games we know about, it's going to be a phenomenal year. And more, both in official capacity from Nintendo themselves and now in rumor, but pretty trustworthy rumor capacity from someone like Emily Rogers, things are lining up to be huge. And if you add in the thought that Nintendo will be adding SNES games based on what data miners have found to their online service, and you think about how they have said themselves they're going to be improving and upgrading the feature set there, it's going to be bananas. And I think that's exactly what Nintendo needs this year before Sony and Microsoft really get hyped about their next platforms. And just for us, getting so many cool new games, it's going to be awesome. Let us know in the comments down below how you feel about this list and what games you think it could be, and if you expect Nintendo to destroy the rest of 2019, and if that makes you as excited as us. Make sure to hit that like button if you enjoyed the video and are pumped to see what Nintendo does. Gabe, I hope you find out their next Direct in your black hole new lifestyle. Please let us know. For now, though, make sure to subscribe to stay up to date on the latest and greatest from the Switch. Have a fantastic day, and until next time, from myself and Gabe, SwitchForce out.